Okay, y'all. So I'm totally talking and driving because I just feel it's super, super heavy on my spirit to just share this. So, forgive me for I look like a hot mess. Losing some nails. My nails. Oh my gosh. No. So I was listening to this song that I've heard like a million and one times, and it says, "You called me out of the grave so I could live like I've been changed," and I just was like, ah, like I think it just hit me so differently, and because I think sometimes, and I'm speaking to myself, I think sometimes we get into this mindset that I'm still in the grave. You might not be saying like I'm still in the grave, I'm still in the grave, but like subconsciously, I think we feel that way. Like the enemy's kind of just coming at us. Maybe you're like dealing with sin or like struggling with a sin or something like that, and maybe you're too filled with shame to even confess that like, okay, like I feel like I'm in this grave, like I'm stuck in this grave, and maybe you've already been saved, baptized, everything like that, and you just feel like you're still in the grave. I mean, I think sometimes because the enemy is super loud and he's a pest, we have to actually like remind ourselves, like God brought us out of the grave. Not only did he bring us out of the grave, but like he brought us out of the grave when he came out of the grave. Like thousands of years ago, he died, and the enemy was laughing like, ha ha ha, I didn't kill Jesus, and God's like, yeah, no, you didn't. And 3 days later, he rose again. He defeated the grave, and with that, he defeated the grave for you, and you came out of the grave. And he died for your past sins, your future sins, like everything. Like he died and defeated the grave. And I think it's just super, super important to just remind yourself, like this sin or whatever is going on is not going to take over my life. Like God has already defeated this. Like this has already been defeated. And like speak that into your circumstance. Like, hey, this has already been defeated. The fight is already won. The battle is already won. There is already victory. There is victory in Jesus. And I think it's super important to remember that. I think sometimes we act like we're in this battle, and we just get into this mindset that we're in this battle and we're fighting this battle and we don't know what's going to happen and we don't know the outcome. But like, hello, the victory is in Jesus and the battle is already won. It's over. And I think we just need to speak that into our circumstance and remind the enemy who he is dealing with. Okay, like you are a child of God. You are a daughter, a son to a king, to the ruler of the world and the creator of the stars and the universe and the moon and everything super dope. And like you are, I totally missed my turn. But you are you're royalty, okay? And Jesus has already died and defeated the grave and won in victory. And so just remember that and speak that into your circumstance of whatever it is. Because I know for me, like I can get super down, especially if I make a mistake or mess up. I'm like, man, like I thought God defeated the grave. I thought God healed me. I thought God fully brought me from this and that. I was never going to sin again and I was never going to mess up again. Like that's kind of really the thought I had coming into Christianity and like being saved. Like I'm never going to mess up again, but that's a lie. And we all sin and fall short of the glory of God and we all make mistakes, but he is good and he is forgiving God and has grace. But I think when we do mess up, we need to remember, because it's very easy to make a mistake and then kind of like fall into like a repeated mistake over and over again because of shame. And you just are like, oh, well, guess God didn't really help me. But that's a lie. That really is a lie. So speak that to your circumstance and remember that God died for you and defeated the grave for you, and you rose out of that grave when he came out of that grave. And he brought you out of the grave so that you can live like you've been changed. And so, yes, live like you've been changed, and just remember that you have been changed and things are different, especially if you have accepted Jesus Christ into your heart. If you have accepted the Holy Spirit into your heart, then you have been changed. But mess ups do happen. And mess ups happen, and just because you mess up doesn't mean that you are horrible. Just because you mess up doesn't mean that God doesn't still love you. Doesn't mean that you getting saved gets just taken away. No, that's not how it works. But obviously, if you're convicted, then that's great. That shows that the Holy Spirit is in your heart. But don't beat yourself up, and just speak that into your life. Speak that into your circumstance. Like, I have defeated the grave. Jesus defeated the grave, and I came out with him. So just like that song, like, I ran out of that grave. That's my jam. I be getting down to that song. But really, like, when Jesus came out that grave, we came with him. Okay, so just remember that. Anyway, love you guys, and just wanted to share that. So peace out.